on, everyone? It's episode 97, recorded on Sunday, April 10th, 2022. I'm John, and hey, Drew.
Yes?
At a TED Talk about sex, the speaker asks all the married men in the room to stand up. He says, all right, all of you who have sex with your wife at least once a week, you can sit down. About half the men sit down. Then he says, okay, now all of you who have sex with your wife at least once a month, you can sit down. Everyone sits down except for one man in the back. He has a huge smile on his face, too. The speaker asks the last man standing, sir, how often do you have sex with your wife? Still grinning, the man says, once a year. Once a year, exclaims the speaker. But then why are you so happy? The man replies, because tonight's the night.
Shut up and sit down, because it's the best day of the week for your favourite podcast, the Dads After Dark Show. And here are your hosts, John and Drew.
What is up, everybody? I'm excited to be back. On today's show, we have a fun show. Lots of fun stuff, as always, John. We're going to talk about Breath of the Wild 2 being delayed. New PlayStation Plus upgrades coming in June. That's their new, online features. I don't know. John's going to explain. I don't really know. I'm going to be honest. And of course, we'll be talking about selling farts in a jar. Because why not? What's better than that?
Are we?
Maybe that's the new market. It sounds like it, as we'll explain a little bit later in the show. But let me ask you this.
Who needs
folks,
Patreon?
As you guys listen now, in your head, I want you to start running numbers in your head. How much do you think a fart costs in a jar? And we'll reveal later on.
We have to figure out our pricing, Drew.
How you been, buddy?
I've been good. I've had a kind of roller coaster couple weeks. It's been weird. I've had, I won't say health issues this week, but I've been detailing it to you for fun. I won't detail it to everybody in the audience here, but
appreciate that.
Let's just say I've had to do a lot of face care this week, and I find it very annoying. Had a doctor's visit in there as well. But things are settling down. I think I'll be my beautiful self tomorrow. So yeah, kind of an annoying week, but a pretty good one. How do I sound, by the way, Drew? Do I sound good?
Sound okay. I think last week you sounded fantastic, though.
After our episode was we record on Sunday nights, and then it was Monday morning, and I was sitting down to edit our podcast, and I should have been working, but I was editing the podcast. And I was just pulling down the audio, and Drew said, what'd you say to me? You go,
oh, by the way, you sounded a little scratchy while we're doing the podcast. I didn't say anything while we're doing the show. And I'm like, what? And so I downloaded the podcast, and sure enough, I was using the wrong mic for 2.5 hours. I was like, why are you telling me this on a Monday morning? It's like when I explained to you, when somebody has like food on their face. Like sometimes you say something, sometimes you just like, you know what? I'm just not gonna. It was like that situation.
Except it's like if you were filming like Saturday Night Live and you didn't tell the host they had food on their face.
I think
and you mentioned it on
natural.
Sunday morning.
It's natural. Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, we'll just agree it's your fault.
Sure.
But tomorrow. My second oldest turns 13.
God, you're old.
I now am going to have 2 teenagers in my house, 2 teenage boys.
At least they're boys. I feel like once you get a girl teenager, it's game over.
My daughter is just so easygoing.
I know. She seems pretty calm. She's like mine, I think, for now. Who knows?
Yeah. My son has a really cool gift coming his way.
Yeah?
He won't get it till tomorrow.
What is it? Can you share? Is he listening in right now?
Let me check my door. We got him a Mac Mini.
Ooh.
And a 27-inch LCD screen. And because
he loves playing Minecraft. He's been on the show, but he loves playing Minecraft. But he has been using my 2013 iMac in the basement because they just have hand-me-down computers. And he's always kind of wanted to get a Mac Mini, I think, because he feels like it's the only thing he can afford. And he, doesn't mention that he would need a monitor. But yeah, this is like his birthday, and we usually don't get like these big gifts, but we know he kind of needs a new computer. So we're just kind of making this his birthday gift. He's going to be stoked.
Sweet.
His Minecraft's going to be like humming along.
How come I didn't get a Mac Mini for my birthday?
I sent it to you. It didn't show up.
Didn't show up. No. Maybe I'm going to send you a fart in the jar your next birthday.
It'll remain sealed. Maybe I'll send it to Hambone or something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then we had opening day for baseball this week. I'm a huge baseball fan. Very excited. The Mets have started 3-1 so far. Disappointing loss today. But I love baseball season because it's every day. Like every work day, I can look forward to the Met game at the end of my day. Or if they play a day game, I can watch it while I work. And I use MLB at bat, and I can watch random games during the day. So it's just, I love baseball season. And the Mets are really good this year. I'm really excited. I do want to see your Red Sox beat the Yankees tonight. Red Sox had a kind of a bad start here, but
they did. We
should do a baseball podcast sometime.
No, we shouldn't.
No? All right.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't hate baseball, but I certainly am not a baseball fan.
What if Tom Brady was playing left field for the Red Sox, maybe?
I'll tell you what, he'll run into home plate.
How are you doing?
Doing well. I had a great weekend. Masters weekend, as we all know. Started Scheffler. Congrats. Well earned. How about that? He like 4-putted the last green. He was so nervous. He missed like 2 putts from 3 feet. Oh, yeah. Wow. It was fantastic. It was kind of like anticlimactic. Like, you hit a putt and you celebrate. Like he had to hit 4 putts. He just kept missing.
Oh, I need to watch that.
But yeah, I probably watched like 20 to 25 hours of the Masters over 4 days. I took Friday off work. I went out and I had a fantastic breakfast in Providence. I had a nice chicken and waffles, like classic.
Wait, that's breakfast?
Oh yeah, chicken and waffles. I don't know. It was like a 9:30ish type food. Nice big, huge glass of mimosa. Guys, like, you want a small one? I was like, no, bring me the biggest you got. Start off the day with the tit, and then went to the casino, won some money. So that was a bonus, and watched golf there as well. It was a fantastic day. Me and my brother. And then I gotta rewind. Thursday night, my wife won tickets. She's been trying to win. We have like our local performing arts, big theater. It's called Providence Performing Arts, and Broadway shows are always there. We've seen Hamilton there before, and she's always trying to win tickets there. Like there's this app you have to just sign up, and they give away like 3rd row seats, and you just have to pay like $20 a ticket. So she's been trying to win tickets to the show that's currently there called Dear Evan Hansen. Have you heard of this?
Evan Hansen. That seems
Dear
familiar.
Evan Hansen. It's Broadway show. It's won Tony Awards, etc. Now I personally have never heard of it. Never knew anything about this show. She was all for it. It's have you ever seen The Greatest Showman, the movie?
I have not, actually. No.
You really should.
I've heard it's good, yeah.
But the same people that made all the music and stuff, which is what is really known for that movie, the same people that did the music for La La Land, did the music for this Broadway show. So I didn't really know what it was about. I said, yeah, I'll go with you. Like, I know you're super excited. Let's see if we can find a babysitter. I'll go. So I went with her. It was fun. It was a fantastic time. I had a blast. The whole reason I'm telling this story, though, is we were there a little early, and 1 block over from the theater is this bar/arcade. It's called the Free Play Arcade. And John, I sent you some pictures. This place was amazing. I took some pictures here. So it's a $7 cover charge, and it's unlimited video gaming, old school like arcade cabinets. It was absolutely a blast. They had some arcade cabinets I personally have never seen before, and they all worked great. We grabbed a couple beers. Every cabinet has like these little mini tables next to them you can put your beer on while you're playing. It just seems like a great time to like kind of get to see people that you don't know, or even hey, I play with you type thing.
My wife and I started off playing the old school Simpsons game. Again, and you can hit start, and it's like putting a quarter in. Every time you hit start, it's like putting a new quarter in. So everything's free.
Yeah.
I played the Punch Out arcade cabinet. That was awesome.
That's an interesting machine.
It was very interesting. It was a little hard to get used to. Like, I struggled with Glass Joe. I ended up beating him, but like, I didn't beat him to round 2. I mean, Glass Joe is usually a pushover.
Yeah.
But we only had like an hour, so it was hard to stay at one game and keep playing. I wanted to play them all. They did have Gauntlet Legends, my personal favorite. We played through there. They had, millions of pinballs. There was the old school WrestleMania by Midway. So my wife and I played tag team match against the computer. We lost in 30 seconds. Destroyed. What else they have here? They had a bunch of shooting games. I played. They had Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey. I played. They had like the old school ones at Indiana Jones. They had the Mario Kart sit-down ones.
I love the Indiana Jones arcade game.
They had a Roadrunner game I played. They had Frogger, Cupert. I mean, they advertised over 100 arcade cabinets, and outside, I'm like, there's no way they have it. They 100% had over that many. They had air hockey, they had skee-ball, they had everything. They had DDR, you name it, they had it.
Yeah,
I'll be going back. We had an absolute blast. Lots of fun.
We had kind of an arcade scene spread around here too. We had a bunch of different arcades, and it was the same thing, like free to play, you pay to get in. My favorite was one called Hyperspace. You pay to get in. It was all dark in there, and man, they had like 2 big rooms filled up with games, Japanese games, everything. And then they had a little snacks and soda stand, and so you could just buy candy and Coke, and it was great.
It was great.
But like over even like like the last few years, Hyperspace went out, Channel 3 went out. So I think the only one we have left is 1UP. They have like a little chain here, and I love 1UP. I can't remember if they're free to play or not off the top of my head, but I think you had to pay for those, so it's a little different. But
yeah, definitely a little different.
The old arcades are just fantastic.
It was awesome. Like I said, it was a cool. It was definitely like the atmosphere of like back alley bar type place. Kind of a little grimy and stuff, but I was surprised that all the games worked perfectly. They had like hand sanitizer everywhere.
Right.
But again, you just go up to the bar, grab a couple drinks, and then walk around and play.
What's really different about arcades now is back in the old days, like places like where I grew up, like Nathan's would have arcades, and it was like they would just buy machines and put them there and kind of blissfully be ignorant about it. But a lot of the arcades now, especially the ones with the old machines, are often owned and run by arcade technicians.
Yeah, that's true.
So the reason why they're kept up is because they have multiple people there that can fix them right on the spot.
Yeah.
So they do a good job.
And I'm surprised. I mean, it was a Thursday night. I don't know if the prices usually change, but I thought $7 was like more than reasonable. I mean, you could have stayed for 3 hours.
What else did they sell? Did they sell, like you said, drinks and stuff like that?
It was just a bar, no food.
Right.
I'm sorry. You know what? They did sell food. They sold pizza only.
Okay.
I can't imagine it would have been good, but like if you wanted to just have beer and pizza, it probably would have been fine.
Yeah, while you're playing games, a little personal pizza or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to talk about before we get going is the new Halo show on Paramount Plus. Have you watched it?
Absolutely not. No.
So I gave it a go. Why not? I watch it when I go to bed. If my wife is I'm going to sleep, I'll watch it in bed.
And you've played Halo, right? I think you have.
Here's the thing. I've never played a Halo game in my life.
Oh.
So obviously I know Master Chief, and but like that's really the extent of my Halo lore. Like I don't know even anything about him. Like if he was an alien, if he's just a normal guy. Like I didn't know. So the show, I mean, it's okay. I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I knew a lot of these things from the show, because I'm sure there's tons of references and stuff. I just don't. I question it, like, but then at the same time, maybe it's good that I'm not ruined by the game and like, oh, that's unrealistic. And I just enjoy it for what it is. I don't think it's nearly as good as The Witcher, or really as entertaining or even as interesting. But It's fine. Like I said, I could see myself not even finishing the series.
Right, you're just curious to see what it was like.
Yeah, like if it really, drew me in, but it is what it is. I'm interested to see what other people would say that actually have played Halo and love Halo,
Yeah, the Game Pass News guys have been watching it, and
Okay.
they played through Halo Infinite and
Yeah.
I think a couple of the other games, but I haven't. I'm not really interested in it. But he takes his helmet off. What did you think of that moment?
Well, again, for me, is that a big deal?
Well, so he's never taken his helmet off in the games.
So it's like the Mandalorian. In a way.
Except that we didn't really know about the Mandalorian, right? I mean, so it was sort of like a thing.
But the Mandalorian idea is you never take your helmet off. Like if you take your helmet off, it's like they disown you.
Right, but they tell you that on episode 1 of The Mandalorian, and then he takes his helmet off before the season even ends.
But
Halo, we've had 20 years of games where he's never taken his helmet off, and then episode 1, he's like a porn star, and he like takes the helmet off, and it's like, oh, here we go, we can see him.
Yeah, and they made it seem like it was a big deal that he did it.
Right.
But again, to me, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, he wasn't supposed to, but he did.
I think canonically it's a big deal, but the way I see these things is the TV shows are different than the games. So this is a TV show. This is not the same Master Chief. This is alternate universe Master Chief.
It's like saying if they made a Zelda movie or show and Link, and Link didn't talk. Right?
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. Like, of course Link is going to talk if they made a show.
Right.
Just like the cartoon he did.
Just like Mario is Chris Pratt. It's just a different universe.
You have to do it.
Yeah. Just like the original Mario movie. It's just different. So I don't think that means like you're going to see, we're going to see what he looks like in the game, It's like, it's a different world, so.
Agreed.
So I'd be curious to see if you finish that up.
Yeah, like I said, I think I finished the first 2 episodes. I think there's only 3 of them out, so it's not like I'm super far behind or anything. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's holding me back. I gotta go back to Mystic Quest because I really enjoy Mystic Quest.
Mythic Quest?
Is that Mystic? What's it called?
Mythic.
Oh, Mythic. I thought it was Mystic. Okay. Close enough.
You're talking about the Apple TV show.
Yeah, the comedy. Yeah. Gotcha.
I really enjoyed that. I can't wait. There's a 3rd season that's going to come.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm not that far into it. A few episodes I've seen, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah. It gets really dramatic and stuff. It seems to start off kind of silly, but I mean, they have some really interesting episodes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's very good. It's very well done.
That's all I got. You got anything else to add?
No, that's
all
it.
Right. Let's take a quick read from our sponsor, Manscaped. Because, John, have you started spring cleaning yet? Because the carpets need cleaning, the drapes that need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing. Spring has sprung. The global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your pants. That's a weird thing. Time to clear out the winter bush and join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS. That's 20% off and free shipping using that code NINDADS. If you haven't done so by yet, folks, I don't know what you're waiting for. Now is actually a really good time. It's starting to be pool season before you know it. You want to wear that Speedo. You don't want your pubes popping out the side. You just don't want that happening. So this is the time to do it.
I'm curious. I'm still on my first Manscaper, and I'm like, I don't use the Manscaper as much as like when I buzz my hair. But I noticed today that I still have the same electric clippers that I bought maybe 20 years ago. And for a long, long time, I did not use them. But there was at one point in my life where I decided to just buzz my hair. And so I bought these clippers, and they're pretty good clippers. I mean, they're a decent pair of professional clippers. Not professional, but they're a good pair. And then for years and years and years, I just moved it along with me between apartments and houses. And then like a couple of years ago, I started like buzzing my hair. And so I was doing it today, and I was like, gosh, I've had these same clippers. Like, I wonder if I should just get a new clipper, because I don't know if like it's probably going to start doing damage to my hair after a while. I have no idea. But I'd be curious to know, like, how long does the Manscaper last? Because it feels like a good product.
Yeah, it feels sturdy. I agree. It's not cheap, right?
And it's designed not to pinch you.
if you make a mistake, right? I mean, can you imagine the pain? Like, have you ever gone to a hairdresser and the buzzer's not really sharp or something, and sometimes they'll start,
Oh yeah,
and you can feel it,
like burn instead of
yeah,
burn.
It starts to burn.
Yeah, you don't want your balls to get stuck in that.
Yeah, because I think the Manscaper is like a ceramic or something, and it's like
It
designed
is.
so it won't kind of pinch you. So
I don't believe it. It's got to somehow pinch you. Speaking of spring cleaning, though, have you ever done one of those like hired like those maid services to clean your house?
I have not.
So I've never done it either. But let me tell you, I got someone coming Wednesday.
Oh,
Spring cleaning. I've been so busy lately, and I want someone to clean. I want someone to do all my windows and my window sills, right? Because, you've been in New England. You get all the shit. They're trying to
the
gross.
bugs.
Yeah, so window sills I want cleaning. I said, I have 3 bathrooms. I said, I want 3 bathrooms cleaned. And then I want my kitchen. Like, the outside of all the appliances, the countertops. I said, I don't need you to do like my floors and dust and vacuum. Like, I can do those things.
Right.
How much do you think that would cost? Well, let me say I have 28 windows. I have a lot of windows.
28 windows. Wow, man, that's normal.
So what would be your cost if someone asked you to do that? 3 bathrooms, a kitchen, and clean 28 windows, the window sills and the actual window.
Yeah, if you told me, I don't care much about my windows, but like you said, the kitchen, the bathrooms, just give me a nice, good cleaning that I can maintain after. You know what? I would pay up to 200. I think. I don't know. That's what I would be willing to pay. I'm not saying. I mean, what they're doing is probably worth $1 million.
Yeah.
That's after that. I'd be like, well, maybe I'll just do it.
Yeah. So she quoted me at $500.
Oh, I don't think that is.
She said she's going to be here all day. Like, I'm the only house on the agenda for the day.
Exactly. Well, because you're giving the 4 hardest things to clean.
Yeah.
And
I said it was worth it. Like you said, it's a once a year thing just to do a deep dive.
Right. Yeah.
Windows are the worst because you got to like spray the Windex and the paper towels, and there's no easy way to do the windows.
And put it this way, Drew. What if you had to clean 3 bathrooms and a kitchen for somebody else's house?
Oh, fuck that.
Like clean their toilets and stuff?
Toilet. Yeah. Never mind having a 5-year-old boy that just pisses all over the toilet seats. And then it drips down the sides. Like, you don't see it every day, but when you go to clean it, you're like, oh my God, there must have been piss back here that's just been sitting here.
Have you ever brought a black light into your kid's bathroom? Because I have a black light and I keep thinking I want to bring it to my boys actually share a bathroom.
My son sometimes, especially when he plays his Lego video games, he'll hold his pee in, and you can tell when your kids have to pee. I'm like, buddy, you have to go to the bathroom. No. So then I'll pause it. I'm like, all right, buddy, run to the bathroom. I'll pause it. I won't play. And he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna pee my pants. And he's running, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, oh no, and I'll be like, what happened, buddy? He'll be like, I peed on the wall. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay.
and then they use that excuse like, I couldn't run there fast enough. And you're like, you're supposed to just pee when you have to pee. Not the problem.
Yeah, you didn't have to. Oh man.
You were where I was like 6 years ago. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, and he hasn't peed on the wall or anything in probably in a good year or so. So I think we're okay, but you've been there. Potty training boys are just like.
Oh, man.
The bounty board.
All right, bounty board. We have a completed bounty this week. Bird Fuel got the Kirby bounty. 100%ed the game. I think it took 30 to 35 hours to do.
Well done.
Great story here. Bob Cousy writes me in chat, and he's like, I 100%ed Kirby. How do I prove it for the bounty? And I'm like, what? And at this point, I know, because I'm friends with Bird Fuel, that he was like at 98%. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, is Bob Cousy going to do it before, I mean, like, this is Dylan's favorite game in the world. And so I show him a picture that Dylan had sent me at 98%. And I'm like, you need to find this screen.
So Kuzi goes to the screen and he's like, shit, I'm 69%. And it was just so perfect. It was like 69%. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But apparently there's so much like other stuff you have to do and random lotto drawings and all that jazz. It's a big accomplishment, but yeah, great job there. $10 to Bird Fuel for that one. We do have the long-standing reveal the entire map in Horizon Forbidden West for $10. Drew, I'm with you. This is going to be the last call.
Wow.
If this doesn't happen in the next 2 weeks, we're just going to take it off the board.
Somebody said they were working on this, but I forget who.
I know Solo Something is playing, but I'm not even sure if he's actively playing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know a lot of people got sidetracked with Elden Ring after Horizon came out. Yeah, so I think we'll just make this the last call. And then our newest one, this is going to be the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Collect all 1,166 Kyber bricks. I have been told by Star Wars nerd Drew that Kyber crystals are how lightsabers are made. So instead of golden bricks, because I think they've had golden bricks in
every game I've ever played has been golden bricks, and typically they're like 250 to 300. So that's what I thought we were getting ourselves into.
Right.
I will say I think the Kyber bricks might be a little bit easier to get.
I mean, there's over 1,000.
I hope so. When there's over 1,000, but
well, and with some of this stuff, like with the Kirby one too, like we're offering $10 to collect 1,166 Kyber bricks. Don't do this for the $10. Like our expectation is you want to do this anyway. And hey, we're going to reward you if you're the first one to prove it to us.
Correct. Because I'll tell you what, my son will do this, but it might take him 12 months.
Yeah, we're going to keep this one on the board for a while because I think a lot of people will be going for it.
Yeah, because this for me at least is going to be a game, and I'll talk about it when we talk about our games, but this will be a game I'll probably be playing for a long time. Like, I'm not just sitting down every night and like grinding through this game.
Yeah.
It's something I'm going to be enjoying with, my son and playing over time.
Right. So very cool. Our $10 March reviews contest, we picked a random reviewer between Podchaser and Apple Podcasts. And the winner this week is one of our show friends, Bob Kuzi.
Woo, Kuzi!
I think he said to me when I told him, like, that's like the first time he's won on our show.
I think it's the first time he's won anything on our show. I agree.
Yes. I was like, congratulations. So he got a $10 eShop for that. Then we have an update on our Mario Kart Mayhem. How do you say it? I'm gonna make Drew say it while he's taking a swig of water.
Mayhem.
Or what do you got in there, Drew?
We'll split. No, it's just water. Oh shit. Just water. It's just water. It's all right.
Maybe don't swing that cup back and forth over your keyboard. So we're in the third round. So the first two rounds were time trial. And so we got a final 8 based on those standings. Sadly, I did not make it in.
What a shame. Wait not to represent.
I know, it's pretty bad. But we did get, we're into this second round of this 8-player bracket. And the final 4 are Bob Kuzi, Drew, that's you.
Me.
Sean Abbott from Game Pass News.
Can we just stop here for a minute and talk about Sean Abbott? Sean, I hope you're listening. Because I've seen a new Sean Abbott that I've never seen before in the years that we've been acquaintances, let's say. You're taking it to a new level, and I fucking love it. Like, I want to see everybody. I'm going to start quoting it as, I want to see you Sean Abbott that. Because it's like, the energy, the skill, first of all, the skill is there, the energy is there, and the enthusiasm. I love it. I love to see it.
Yeah. Well, he's been super competitive, and Sean Abbott is, I already consider him famous because he's the Game Pass News guy that doesn't play Game Pass anymore. He's been playing Riders Republic, then Elden Ring, and then Kirby, and then
Mario Kart.
But, and then Dying Light too. But yeah, he's been he really is trying to get the best time in these. So he's made it now into the second round. So what I think the next round is going to be you versus Hambone, and Sean Abbott versus Coos. That's going to be very exciting to see. I want to see if anybody's streaming this, because we have
Hambone
2 streamers involved here. So Hambone, you should stream your matchup with Drew. Just saying, I want to watch it.
All right, bring it on.
So awesome. By our next show, we'll have a winner. And then the last update, the booty bracket.
The booty bracket.
We have made it to the final threesome. Drew, we need to talk about this.
We do. I cannot be more disappointed than all of our fucking listeners right now, because you guys
unsubscribe right now.
You guys have go ahead, do it. You guys have put in 3 characters. My mind is blown. I don't even know how to reply. John, just go ahead.
I'm pissed. No.
Wii Fit Trainer is not here. That's fucked up.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. And
that hurts. Yeah.
Look, we had Rosalina versus Zelda, and Rosalina defeated Zelda.
How? Why is she even that far?
Zelda's
she should have lost a long time ago.
She's got a British accent. What else do you want?
She looks like she's 13. I feel like I kind of feel like dirty even voting on her.
Rosalina's best friend is a star.
Yeah, that's weird. I agree. What's she do? It's like a 5-point dildo.
I actually think Rosalina is one of the most unsexualized characters in our whole tournament.
Yeah. Now, if you said Daisy, I feel like Daisy I could get behind.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But now you say Rosalina. I would go more on the Rosalina.
Rosalina? I used to have an East Coast accent. I don't know if that affects it or not.
You're talking to the wrong guy about that then.
Hey. I don't understand. And Rosalina came from the Sex Bombs, right? So these are like the animated characters. And I think it's the least sexy characters in the whole bunch. But
I mean,
Breath of the Wild, Zelda versus
Rosalina. Bush is hotter than her.
I have a feeling it won't end well for Rosalina, but we'll see.
Who knows, John? Who fucking knows at this point?
What I think is the biggest upset, it shouldn't be considered an upset, but Samus Aran versus Lara Croft, and Samus wins. I'm not surprised.
But that's people voting on their hearts and not with their dick, right? Remember, this was the hottest character, not your favorite. This is just who would you want to bone? I mean, yeah.
No, I don't know if it's who you'd want to bone, though. There's hot people that you do not want to get anywhere near.
You're right, because I think Johnny Cage should still be in this, and I don't want to bone him.
I thought Laura was going to win this whole tournament. She kind of has everything. She's badass. She's sexy. She's got the British accent going. She's often depicted like dirty,
you know what? The other day we have 2 Nintendo characters. Just that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, I guess. And you got to think Samus is the favorite right now to win it all. We did upgrade her picture, I think, for this round too. So she has kind of the Dread outfit on. I think that'll help her. The last matchup was Kaileena versus Camilla, and Kaileena won.
Let me stop you right now and say, how many people listening to this show know who Kaileena is?
I don't think anybody does.
I didn't know who she was.
Except that
I'm going to be blunt. You put her on the list. I said, I don't know fuck who this is. And then I had to go make the little chart and the little picture. And I said, John, is this the right person? And I sent you a picture. And you said, yep, that's her. But I will say she's hot.
When we were putting together the names, part of it was we didn't want to crowdsource names. We wanted them to be a surprise. But I looked at multiple online top lists, and she showed up in all of them. So that's how she ended there. I didn't know who she was beforehand. We wanted a nice, diverse list from different systems and backgrounds and everything.
So
I'm shocked she's here.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Is she some kind of like witch or something too, or does she have magic, or no? She's straight, just like melee type fighter.
No, she might have some sorcery thing going on. I don't know.
Okay.
I never played it. I always hear good things about the later Prince of Persia games. I played the original. I think most people played the original game where you're just running across platforms.
Yeah.
But I haven't played these. But I've heard good things about them. And Kaileena's in it. But I'm shocked she defeated Camilla. I feel like Camilla had one of the hottest pictures in this whole contest.
Yeah, but again, too cartoony, maybe?
No, they're all of them are cartoons, really, except for like Lara. I'm shocked Camilla lost. She represents a Nintendo franchise. Great picture. I mean,
I think people. I think honestly, a lot of people didn't know who Camilla is personally, and I think they just went on who's hotter.
I think more people are familiar with Camilla though, because it's Fire Emblem. I mean,
a little bit. I agree, a few more, but at the end of the day, not a million.
Certainly not. Yeah.
So the final three for the threesome: Rosalina, Samus, Kaileena. That's it.
Can I ask you a question, Drew?
You may.
If this were a real threesome,
yes.
Who's dominating in the bed?
Kaileena.
Samus, right?
No, Kaileena.
Kaileena?
I mean, I don't know her as a person, but
I wonder if Kaileena would be like commanding what Samus and Rosalina should do.
I think she would. I think Rosalina is just, she's sitting in the corner telling me what to do. This is
she's submissive.
It's her first time.
Okay.
Samus, though she might have a little bit of experience, she might not be into the three-way and be a little like timid. You know what I'm saying? Like average. But like Kaileena, she's probably had like an eightsome, so she's ready to go. Like, that Prince of Persia shit. You get in there. It's like that orgy type stuff going. She's been there. She's done it. She's seasoned. I think she's taking control. She might take Rosalina's Luma there and use it like I said earlier.
You think Luma's gonna be involved?
I think Luma's getting involved in the threesome. Yeah.
All right. I say Samus keeps her helmet on.
She doesn't want to look.
She doesn't want to take the helmet off. That would be pretty hot, actually. All right. So that's going to be our final threesome. We're going to have voting for that this week to decide the hottest video game character of all time. I can't wait to see the winner.
Vote, and you'll get a chance to win some eShop. I think $20. I think we said $20.
Yeah.
$20. All you gotta do is vote. And remember, every round that you voted in previously counts as like one vote. So you're gonna get, if you voted in all 5 rounds, you're gonna get 5 tickets to win.
Yep. Yeah, when that ends, we're going to run that contest and we're going to notify the winner via email, which is why you've left it. So good luck.
What we've been playing.
Drew, I've got a few games that I've played this week I want to talk about. I finally got to play The Walking Dead Season 2. I had played the Season 1 a couple months ago, I guess. Yeah, I played it when I first got my PlayStation 5. Loved it. And Season 2 is a direct sequel to Season 1. I would say if you just take the season standalone, it wasn't as good as Season 1. It was a little shorter than Season 1. Not as much puzzle solving, maybe. But because it was a continuation of the story, I loved it. Great story. There's always something happening. These narrative games can get a little boring at times, and I think the best ones always keep some story going on. And Walking Dead Season 2 was great. Really enjoyed it. And now I'm looking forward to Season 3. I really can't talk enough about these Walking Dead games. And I'll mention again that they are on Game Pass. Give it a try. I think they have Season 1, Season 2... I think Season 3 as well.
Now, question for these games.
Really good.
Are you like walking around and doing stuff, or is this like more of a story decision tree reading type game?
You get that question all the time with like Life is Strange games. There are sequences where the characters are talking and you're making like dialogue choices.
Correct.
In these particular games, there are sequences, where you're walking around, looking at items, trying to interact with items. It feels
In a smaller space, though, type thing?
Yeah, yes, in a small space. Like, you don't have to, like, go between rooms even. Like,
Yeah, I
you'll
saw
be
the
in one setting.
You sent me that Life is Strange clip when she was in her bedroom and hid in the closet and stuff. So that's the way I kind of, visualize these games.
I think all the narrative games are a little bit different in the gameplay, but when I play Walking Dead, it oftentimes feels like a point and click. And then your character will kind of like walk around, and you're kind of looking from this third person view. And the character will walk around, walk towards the screen, walk away from the screen, and you're just like tap, look, use your hand, that sort of thing.
I'm glad you showed me how they walk. That was a good analogy there.
I know it, but it really is. It's very like it's like a third person view. But the story does keep it going. There's great characters in this one. I mean, honestly, I think I like the game better than the show.
Well, you didn't finish the show either, like myself, right?
God, no, I gave up on that one.
I gave up too.
Yeah. But if you have Game Pass, give season 1 a try, man. I really enjoyed it. So season 2 was great. The next season is The New Frontier, I guess. They didn't call it season 3. I don't know why. So I'm going to play that the next time I finish a game. I'll do season 3. I also finally got to play this week Life is Strange Remastered,
of course
episode 1. So, Drew, you remember the Life is Strange Remastered collection came out February 1st.
All a blur to me. I don't understand how there's this. It sounds like every month the same game comes out. I don't get it.
The game came out February 1st, and I went to play it the first day. I have a tweet somewhere, and the game was running at 30 frames per second, and I couldn't play it. Because the original 60 frames a second. It's hard to describe, but when you lower the frame rate on a game that you've played before, imagine playing Contra, but the frame rate is half. You'd be like, I'm not playing this shit.
That's a weird analogy, but this is remastered. I don't understand why would it have a lower frame rate.
Well, I can't explain the technicals, but it had a lower frame rate. So it wasn't built for the new consoles either. It was a PS4 game. It was an Xbox One game, but it wasn't yet a PS5 or Series X game. Anyway, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for them. I mean, they've done so many bug fixes to this. They should never have released this February 1st. It was already delayed from like September of last year. They never should have released it. It had a bunch of bugs, really bad bugs too. I got to finally play it 2 months later. I played through the first episode. I did all of the achievements. I know where everything is at this point. And I got to say, I mean, it looks better. The main character, Max, looks better. Chloe looks better. Some of the side characters do look better as well. Most notoriously, the Principal Wells, looked horrible in the original Life is Strange. They just butchered his face. So he's fixed up. And there's some of the visuals are better. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the visuals are better, especially if I go back to the old one. But you know what? I wouldn't say the game is better. They didn't change the audio, which is actually ideal, but they didn't change the audio. And when you're playing the game, there's no point where I'm like, wow, oh, that looks so much better. Oh, it's like, okay, yeah, the bathroom looks a little better and all that. The first game had such a great art style. I don't know. When I thought they were going to re-mocap this whole game, I was really fascinated with it. I don't know if they needed to do this, and they spent a lot of time doing it, and then they put it out way too soon. So I'll probably finish it up just because I'm not going to pass another chance to go through and get all the achievements again. But I had fun. But I'll probably do one episode every couple weeks. I'm not going to sit here and just play this game all the way through. And I would say if you've never played before and you want to play it, just get the original. I don't think you need this one. So that's Life is Strange. I've been playing a lot of one other game, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. I want to talk about that next episode because I'll be spending the next 2 weeks playing that game. So I don't want to talk about it now and then talk about it.
Do I know what
next
that
episode?
Is?
You might.
Okay.
And then I have played a couple of Switch games.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I wrapped up. Thank God. I wrapped up Triangle Strategy. So excited. I think I wrapped it up this past weekend. And wow, I have so many feelings about Triangle Strategy. I was so hyped for this game since they announced it. Love the HD 2D and all that jazz. I love tactics games. This game has some issues that really affected how much I enjoyed it. I know other people have enjoyed it. It's not a game that's bad or anything like that. But I think depending on the kind of tactics player you are, you may or may not like this. The big thing for me is the story sequences were way too long. Oh my gosh. I've never seen a game like this. I was telling you, I would be playing this game over the span of 3 days. This literally happened over 3 days, going through a story sequence. Oh. Story sequence. Oh, new chapter in the game. Story sequence. And then like I'd play for 30 minutes and then I'd put it down. And then the next day I'd pick it up and play it for 40 minutes and then put it down. And then I'd pick it up for 20 minutes during the day and put it down. 3 days without even one battle.
Is this game's story sequence? Describe it to me. Is it like just you're reading and you're pushing A? Is it voice acting? Is there animation to it?
Most of the dialogue in the game is voice, not all.
Yeah.
And whenever I do voice acted games, I do tend to let the voicing finish before I tap the button. I think it's like a psychological thing. Mm-hmm. One thing I will do sometimes is I'll turn the volume off on the game and then tap through it. I don't like hearing the voices interrupted. Yeah. I don't know why. I know what you're saying. But yeah, like the story is very verbose, and it's a decent story, but it's very verbose, very repetitive. You will hear the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it's like, yes, I know.
So did you get tempted to a point that you wanted to like skip certain cutscenes?
Yes.
Because it's funny, right? There's games like I recently played the Darksiders Genesis, right? And that wasn't known for a story game, but there's parts like I'm just gonna hit A. Just I don't really care. The storyline isn't that good in that game. But then there's games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that is known for long cutscenes. But you're kind of wrapped up into the story that like you want to read it, you want to watch it unveil.
And it's animated better, right?
It is. Yeah.
I mean, like Pyra, we might see. Yeah, and you can watch it. These are very much like listen to the text, tap A. There is actually a way to make it auto advance. But then what'll happen is like, part of the problem is the story sequence doesn't just happen in one shot, right? So you're in a room, there's 3 characters talking to each other, and you have it auto advancing, and then it like goes to a different room, and you have to turn on the auto advance again, and then they talk, and then you go back to the first room. It's like, oh my God. And then a chapter will end. So like some of the chapters have multiple parts. The chapter will end, and you're like, okay, the chapter's done. And then you're in part 1 of the next chapter, and it's story sequences all the way through.
Starting. Oh God, yeah.
And it's like, Jesus, like they could have cut half the story sequences. Not even the story. You can keep the story exactly the same, but you can cut half the dialogue, and the game would have been so much better. When you're playing and you're just like constantly like, okay, I just want to do a battle. Let me do a battle. Let me just move on. It was too much. On top of that, the story is very political. So like, like Star Wars, right? We always say we love Star Wars. But if you really look at the first movie, the prequels, there's a lot of politics going on.
The prequels have a lot of politics.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking. And that's what this game had, because the basics of the story is there's these 3 nations on the continent. I think it's one nation or whatever, but these 3 areas in the continent. One owns the salt, one owns the iron, and one is the middle where the trade happens, right? And it's like, oh my God, it's about salt politics and this and that. There is a lot of the whole point of why the game's called Triangle Strategy is that you start deciding who to ally with. And you'll actually change throughout the game. So you might like say, oh, we're going to side with S-Frost here. And then we're going to fight Hyzant. And then the next chapter, you're siding with Hyzant and you're going to go fight S-Frost. And that's all well and good. But some of the decisions in the game are not actually made by you. So if you decide, no, we should ally with S-Frost, You might not get that because it's a democratic vote among your party. So there's like 9 people in the party, and you'll see where they stand. So like there's this big decision about like early in the game, should we travel to Esfrost or Hyzant? And, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking like, you know, Hyzant would be cool. And then like everyone's got a different opinion. And then you have to decide who you negotiate with. So, you know, if you want to go to Hyzant, you talk to all the people that want to go to Esfrost. And then you talk to them, and you like, you try to find some clues and stuff and convince them.
Miserable.
Right. So then you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get them to side over. Then you do the final vote and you're like ready to celebrate. And then they go, we're going to go to Esfrost. And it's like, what the fuck? Like you have a decision in the game, but I don't get to control that decision. It wasn't fun to me.
Yeah.
Even when you're trying to negotiate with people, you can't get the decision to happen. So I don't know. It's weird. The battling was fine. There was no synergy with the characters. A lot of the characters all had different qualities and like different unique things they did. I like had a character that could move twice. I've had characters that can just do different things. But none of them really synergized. It just felt like hacking on enemies. The enemies often had a lot of health versus like a Fire Emblem game where you might just go in and one-shot people. I don't know. It didn't. I don't feel like the battling was good. I don't feel like the story was concise enough. I don't feel like the mechanic with the voting was a lot of fun. So, I mean, overall, the game was just like, okay. I wouldn't even say it was good. It's just okay. I was glad it was over. You know, that's it. It's a game also you might want to play again, get a different story. Because there's battles that are different between the different storylines. So like I saw like a battle between 2 boats. I never got to do that. But I just don't have any energy to do it again because the story is too long.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's kind of a letdown for me. But I finished it because I'm a dad who finishes.
That's it.
And the last game I'm playing, which I'm still playing, is Ollie World. I've been waiting for a sale on this one. It went on sale, and I got it. I've never played the other Ollie games. And apparently the first 2 games were pixel art. And they went with 3D on this one. It's kind of like a 2.5D. It's one of those games where it's a side view, but it's just rendered in 3D. And I got to say, I mean, the action's really good. If you are a fan of games where you have to like hit tons of achievements and play through levels over and over and over again, this game is for you. And I know that because I'm into getting all the achievements and doing levels over and over and over again. If you play this game just to get past the level, move on, get past the level, and then just hit the end of the game and be done, you know, it's going to be like Sayonara Wild Hearts, Drew, right? It's like it's not hard. There's definitely harder sequences in this game to get past, especially as you get later into the game. But you'll figure it out. It's not that bad. The real fun and challenge of this game is to do all the little tricks and achievements and pop 5 whales in the course or get through the course and only grind on 2 rails, things like that. So you'll do the level once, you'll die a couple times, you'll get through it. And then you have to try to do every level without dying one time. And they make it really easy to restart the whole level. So like if you were to like, well, I say die, but I mean, you basically crash. So if you crash and you're like, look, I don't want to keep playing because I've already crashed, you can hold down X and restart the whole level. So they make that stuff easy. And then all the little cute achievements like hit the frog off the bee and stuff like that. So that part's really fun. I've really enjoyed the gameplay, and it's really smooth too. The controls are really, it takes some time to get used to, but it's an auto runner. So you're using the analog stick to do your flips and tricks. So that's really nice. You're not hitting a bunch of buttons. You're just kind of flipping the analog stick. The one part of the game I don't like is, again, the story sequences. Every new area, and there's probably like 12 to 15 areas in each world, and there's like 5 worlds. God, there's like some story going on with a guy named Mike and a guy named Dad, and it's like they start talking. And the funny thing is the cutscene, it's not even a cutscene, but like just when you see the characters talking on the Switch anyway, it's really like laggy and not glitchy, but like it's just kind of hard on the eyes. Because then when you get to the gameplay, it's like 60 frames per second, really smooth and nice. But it's like just seeing these characters talk to each other. It's just like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like gross looking.
That's gross.
And like, if you said I could pay $5 to just remove the story sequence in this game, I'd do it in a second. And they have to load when you go into a level. And it's like, I'm actually waiting to see this gross story sequence. I've actually started to skip those. They're talking about nothing. Every so often there's a tutorial level and they'll explain a trick. But even then, you don't even have to hear what they say. They'll show you at the end what to do.
Yeah.
I can't stand the story parts of this game. It's so unnecessary. There's no story at all. I wish they'd just take it out of the game. And if you're going to put it in there, make it look nice. Like, my God. But otherwise, no, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. And looking forward to trying to do everything. Definitely, if you try to do everything, it's really difficult. And there's tons of achievements to hit. But that's really how you should play this game. Like, even if you don't 100% it, you're trying to. So like, that probably where I'll be is like, I'm hoping to end up in the 85% to 95% range. There's no way I'll do everything. I won't do everything. But damn it, I'll try. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
All right. How about you?
I've been playing 2 games, both Nintendo, of course. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. You know, I had almost no expectation going into this game. And not that doesn't mean a bad one, just I didn't know. I love this game. I mean, I know it's only April, but like game of the year type game. Absolutely fantastic. Blew my mind. The visuals, the gameplay, the level design, and just exploring the different abilities and the upgrades. All that type of stuff. Absolutely fantastic game. Loved it. I have been playing co-op the entire game. Me and my wife with the kids watching. So the game started, it was fantastic, the co-op. I think I explained last episode the difficulties I had where like if you went too far, it didn't split the screen. So if you went too far from Kirby as Waddle Dee, it would kind of like bubble you right back. So that was super annoying. Like I would try to go explore a secret passage, or a lot of the times like I would die because I would fall off a cliff because you know what I'm saying. I got pulled.
Right.
So super annoying. But at the beginning, you know, Waddle Dee has a spear and like super fast attack. He can also throw the spear. He can do this helicopter thing where it rains spears. Like super powerful. Like I was the one killing all the enemies and dominating the bosses. As the game progresses and you can upgrade abilities, right? It's not really a spoiler. You know, there's multiple upgrades. You can upgrade each ability like 3 times, and it gets more powerful and more stuff. I found Waddle Dee is no longer that powerhouse and kind of more of an afterthought, which just kind of sucks for a lot of late in the game stuff. Like I was there, but it's funny. It's like even when you're fighting a boss, you know, if it's an AoE type attack, then that's fine. But if it's like the boss is focusing on one person, they're always focusing on Kirby. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I could just go stand over here and he's not really hitting me unless he's going to pound the ground. You know, so
does that make Waddle Dee effective because he's not targeting you?
It makes him a little bit more effective, but again, it like the damage he does compared to some of the Kirby damage.
I see.
It's just it's not even close. But no, you're right. I can definitely waddle away on him if you know what I'm saying. But overall, the answer to that. So I beat the game. I'm between like 75 and 80% complete according to the stats, and we're in the post game now. Again, I'm not going to spoil what that is, but there's tons of stuff unlocked in Waddle Dee Town and exploring Waddle Dee Town. There's tons of little fun things to do. There's a bunch of little mini games within Waddle Dee Town that you can upgrade and you can play along the way as you build your town. The little capsule things, which you get like you pretty much get these little amiibo figures. I think you kind of mentioned it later. Like, and there's different volumes, and that's you can go to the coin machine and put coins in, and you get a random one. You don't know which figure you're going to get. Another little added fun thing to do. I don't want to spoil it for too much. I know you haven't played it yet, and some people haven't maybe fully unlocked Waddle Dee Town, but there's tons of things to do. They have a Coliseum where you just do boss battles. There's a fishing area, and then there's other mini game areas. I won't get into that you unlock as well.
I think a lot of these are involved in getting 100% too. Like they're not just like little dorky things to do. They're part of the completion.
Yeah, like you have to, maybe catch a certain size fish. I think all the mini games have like an easy mode and a hard mode. You have to beat all of those. I agree. All of those, I believe, are part of it as well. But yeah, the game's fantastic. I think we'll definitely play this to about, I don't know if we'll 100% it. Because we would have to go back and play almost all the levels.
Yeah.
Because each level, maybe not all of them, because when you play each level, you gotta beat the level, and then there's like 4 little side missions, but you don't know what they are until you play the level. Right. So I don't know if we'll go back to play every one to collect every Waddle Dee, but we'll definitely do all the post game stuff. And we're enjoying it.
Are you a dad who finishes, Drew?
I finished the game.
Did you finish the game? You're going to do it. You know what? You're going to do it.
No, but that's a great point. I mean, I think we're going to finish the game once and I don't want to give it away because there's post-game stuff, right? It's more than just going back and playing the levels again. It's more than that. That's all I'll say. But I'm going to complete all of that post-game stuff. Right? So I feel like you're really completing the game. Again, you're not 100% in it, but the 100% in part of it, like that might get me to 90%. And then the last 10%, and I've already did every mini game in town. I've done all of those. I completed all those, even on like the hard modes. So the last thing I'll have to do is just go back to the few levels that I didn't fully collect all the Waddle Dees and do that. Right. So we'll see. We'll see where we're at. I mean, if my wife likes it, we'll keep playing.
Yeah. I can't wait to play it.
You really should start. It's fantastic.
Maybe after Ollie.
The other game, obviously, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Me and my son have been playing this together, but I play a little bit of my own, some of the levels. Fantastic. I love it. It's one of the better Lego games I've been playing. It's so funny playing with my son. He's 5, and he tells me what I'm doing wrong, and he tells me how to beat certain bosses. And like he's right. Like he's absolutely. I'm like, how did you know that? I watched a YouTube video on it the other day. I'm like,
oh,
what? Like he's like,
cheater.
Oh, yeah. He's a cheater. We're playing Kirby the other day, and he goes, that's not the final boss. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, there's 2 more bosses. I'm like, what? Like, how do you know that, buddy? He's like, I watched the video. He's like, there's a shortcut up here on the right. I'm like, oh my God, you're 5. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, Lego Star Wars, a perfect balance. I love right when you start the game, you can pick which episode, correlated to the movie you want to play, and it lets you start at each trilogy. So you'd start at episode 1, 4, or 7.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool. So I started at episode 4. Only way to do it, right, John?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, once you beat each episode, I found has like 5 levels. So there's 5 levels within that episode. So think about a movie. A movie's broken down into like 5 segments.
Right.
And that you play, each level takes maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes on the longer side.
So there's 45 levels.
Yeah. Yep. I'd say that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems, maybe they don't take that long. And once you beat all 5, you move on to the next one. And they have a really good balance of like playing your typical Lego game that you're aware of, mixed in with maybe some type of, you're in space, and you're, chasing TIE fighters, or you have to go attack a, Star Destroyer and stuff like that. So there's a good balance between like, spaceship levels and on your feet levels and kind of those oddball type levels mixture. I'm almost done with episode 6. So I played through 4 and 5, almost done with 6. Then I'll probably jump back to episode 1. But tons of upgrades, tons of stuff to do. Every time you beat a level, John, you get what they call you unlock free play, because a lot of these worlds have like central hubs. So for example, like let's use Tatooine, which is like the desert planet, right? Which is like where a lot of like the Mandalorian and Boba Fett took place. So you could go and have free play and explore that planet And that's how you find a lot of unlockable stuff. So you're not really doing a mission. You're just exploring the sandbox mode almost. And there's little missions, side quests while you explore. Go collect 5 of these. You can jump in like a pod racer. Now you have to go do a race and beat somebody. If you beat them, you get one of those timer Brits. So there's tons of like little stuff like that. So right now we're just playing through each level. And then I told my son, we'll go back and we'll do all the free play. Because there's a lot of the free play stuff you have to unlock other characters that you can't do yet.
So the other things are the missions, or you would say like the main missions. And then when you go into the free play, is that really kind of all the side stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. And there's tons of other stuff. Like you'll have to go over here and it's trying to say like you need to have like a dark side character or a character with a lightsaber. But when you played that spot originally, you didn't have any of those characters unlocked because you're in the story mode. You know what I'm saying? So it's when you're in free play, you can select any character you have unlocked.
Right.
Yeah, so it's blast. We're having a ton of fun. I bought the $70 deluxe version, so you get a ton of other extra characters. You get like all the Mandalorian characters. So you get like Baby Yoda, Mandalorian.
Playable?
Playable. Yeah, I didn't really dive deep into that yet. I think it's just characters. I don't think you get like any extra levels or anything, from what I understand.
But like if you do usually when you do like the main quest stuff, they want you as certain characters because they're telling a story. But if you were doing the free play, you can use like whoever you want.
Anybody that you've unlocked so far.
And that includes Baby Yoda?
I think so. I haven't tried it yet. You're right. I don't know how the DLC stuff works that I bought.
Okay. And that was the digital deluxe that you did.
Yes, you can buy, if you don't buy the digital deluxe, you can buy the character packs separately, but they're like $2.99 each.
Right.
And there's probably like 8 of them. So you definitely get your money's worth. If you're going to buy any of them, just buy the deluxe version.
I looked online. So if you bought the physical, there is a $70 physical version that I think comes with a minifig. Is that right?
Hard to find though. Yeah, that's hard to find. I didn't pre-order it. So it was impossible to get.
I was going to try to get it, and then I didn't. But like now, I'm like, yeah, I really would like to get that minifig.
I know.
I'm going to look to see.
Yeah, I think it was like loot with the blue melt.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, you know how much that minifig's going for online?
$1 gazillion.
Yeah, $1 gazillion is right. It's like $100, I think.
I
think you had that and another figure. Was it 2 figures?
Yeah, the Switch one. No, I think it was just the one. The Switch one is sold out. That's the only one I would get, right? So
you might as well just buy it digital then.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I know other people had a few. Lego games are obviously known for having tons of issues and bugs. Knock on wood, baby. I haven't had one issue yet. No error kicking me out. No stuck mode. No having to restart. Pretty flawless so far.
I saw one review where somebody's like whole progress got stopped by a bug, but they said they hadn't seen other people affected by it. So it's just like probably any other game. I mean, Horizon had those kind of bugs, so they happen. Yeah, I might play this game. It seems very long, and I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, so I'm just afraid of. This is a game I play and it'll go in 100%, and it's going to take me like 150 hours.
If you're doing 100% it can be. If you just want to play the story modes, that's not how you play Lego games. But like I said, I'm already on. I'm already a third way through the game.
Yeah,
from a story level point of view, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
when I play them, it's hard to play Lego games without trying to like destroy every single thing you can destroy and pick up every single Lego thing. And it's easy to say, well, just don't do it, John, but it's like, it's just a compulsion.
That's the point of it. No, but you don't have to go back to all the free plays if you didn't want to.
But
I would too. That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing with my son's an absolute blast. We played through episode 5, which where they go to Hoth, the frozen ice planet. I thought that was really cool. They did a good job with that.
When you get there, did you like, okay, son, this is the best trilogy of the 3?
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, this is the one with the abominable snowman guy. We gotta fight him. Dad, we gonna lock him? I want to play as him. I said, well, I don't know, buddy.
That looks fun.
Yeah, great game. I'm having a blast with it. I'm gonna keep playing this game. I'll hate to say it, I'll probably 100% it, but it will be with my son over a long period of time.
I want to see if you can 100% it before somebody else claims the bounty.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I did get that Horizon bounty. I mean, I'm not going to claim it, but I did unlock the map. So
I won't be playing this game nonsense. But I'll tell you what, this is the only game I have for the next week or so. But that's not going to make me even close.
And Kirby.
Yeah, but again, I don't have a game that I play at nighttime like by myself.
Oh, I see. That's right. Yeah, you're playing both of these games with your family.
Yeah, I'll play Lido by myself a little bit because I don't know if my son loves the free play. That's his favorite because he gets mad like if sometimes when you play a story level mode, it's like you have Han Solo and R2D2, and player one's locked on to Han. He's like, I don't want to be R2D2. I'm like, well, buddy, you got to be him. That's how it worked. I'm sorry.
Got to tell the story.
Some story modes you have like 4 players, so you can at least pick between a couple. But he always wants the guy with the lightsaber, which has been loot. I'm like, I want loot. I want the lightsaber.
You be the fucking droid.
All right, that's it for me, though.
Sweet.
It's chit chat time.
Okay, the big news this past week, Breath of the Wild 2, shockingly delayed to now it's spring 2023. What do you think? Did you predict this? I can't remember, but what do you think of this delay?
I don't remember.
I'm shocked.
I mean, I'm shocked. I'll be honest. I didn't see this coming. We have Xenoblade Chronicles coming out in the fall, September, I want to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to ask though, right? We haven't seen this. This will be 6 years, almost on the dot, before we see a Zelda game.
Crazy.
On the same engine, right? Let's call it that. Let's quotation marks, the same engine as Breath of the Wild. I'm not a video game maker. I'm not going to pretend I know what goes into it, but that seems pretty fucking bad. 6 years, John?
Yes, I agree.
Right?
Yeah,
I get it. 2 of those years was a pandemic. Sure, we can use that. That's an easy out. But I don't get it. Like that's a long time. I mean, not to mention, not the soapbox. Like we haven't seen a Mario either, really, in 6 years.
Yeah, well, you've seen other Mario games at least.
Ports, though.
Well, I mean like Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, and
I mean, 3D Mario besides Bowser's Fury, which wasn't even a full game, right? We haven't seen a Mario game, either.
Right? Yeah. No, I agree. When Breath of the Wild came out in March 2017, and in that like March and April, when everybody was just playing Zelda every single day, and I remember saying, "Gosh, you know what? I think they're going to make a second game," because I never felt like Breath of the Wild was perfect. Like the story
I agree with
wasn't the overall story was good, but like I didn't find the fight with Ganon very intriguing. He wasn't a talking character.
I wasn't a big fan of the whatever you call them, their dungeon
memories?
versions. No, their forms of the dungeon. I didn't really enjoy those. It was annoying.
So I felt like there's going to be a sequel. They're going to build it on the same engine, and they're going to like extend the story, and they're going to build a sequel. And I said it could be here in like 2 years, man. I mean, like this game is like, because Breath of the Wild was a sensation, and it's going to be like you said, 6 years, and it's like okay, and it's going to be amazing. I guarantee it. But here's something very interesting. The game was supposed to come out in 2022. That was the year we're supposed to get this game. It's early April. I think it's always interesting to see when a game gets delayed, the timing of the delay. Their window to release this game, you got to think is first week of December is probably the latest you want to go.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't want to get close to Christmas. Nobody's working. You got bugs, and there's no one there to patch it. So you don't really see many games come out. Big budget games come out in December. So that's why. So you got to think December 1st is like the last day they could possibly release this game. They delayed it May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 8 months before that.
That's crazy.
Now, granted, they're not going to wait until like Halloween to delay it. Like they're going to know, but this is really early to delay.
When do you think they need to have a game done like before their release date?
I think,
like you said, December 1st is their date. Like, do they need to be done by September 1st? Like, how? Like, what's?
No, they need to be done. I'd say the game has to be done 6 months before release, and then they're just full scale doing testing, fixing,
Marketing, just all that
testing.
stuff.
Yeah. And then it takes about 3 months to build the cartridges, the inserts and all that stuff. Like building those physicals is about a 3-month process.
That's good to know.
And they want that cartridge version to be gold. They're not, Nintendo is not releasing that and having day one patch. That's not what they're doing with this game.
So they need to have those almost done a month before, so they just start shipping them to their distributors.
Right. So they basically know that they need at least 3 more months to make this game. And we've seen other developers release a digital version. Like if they were going to release this digitally, they would have 6 months. But because they know they have to go physical, they will delay. So they could have the game done for 2 or 3 months.
So let's ask this.
They just can't release it.
Let me ask a dumb question now. Do you think this has anything to do with them not being done in some type of strategy?
I think there's a couple reasons.
How are they not done, John? We both just said it. How are they not done?
I think they have some other ideas. I don't think it's it's definitely not a situation where the game is just buggy as hell, because no, they have time to figure that out. It's a situation where I think they're still adding content. They're still tweeting. We know that this game is very physics-based, like the first one. And I think my theory is that there has been a lot of open world games released in the last year and a half.
Agreed.
We've seen Elden Ring, we've seen Horizon, we've seen the Assassin's Creed game. We've just seen so many open world games. And I think the one worry I have is that they feel like this game doesn't really hold up with some of the other games, and they need to make up for that a little bit. And the one parallel I would draw was Star Fox 2. From everything we've heard, the reason why Star Fox 2 didn't come out at all, ever, until the SNES Classic, was because they just didn't feel like it matched up against what was out at the time.
Yeah.
And it was a little I hate to say it, but it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So now we can look at it as a retro game and appreciate it, but at the time it would have not held a candle to, what other systems were doing.
But when has Nintendo ever cared about that?
They would care if it hurts their brand, right? If they put out a game that was oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, correct. I agree in a way where right now everything's so competitive with that market, right?
Yeah.
You're right. With this, you don't want to scare people away from Nintendo. Right. Follow-up question. I love drilling you with these. So you have good answers so far, John.
I like when you drill me.
Does this mean a Mario game replaces it? Because you're gonna have to replace something there, right?
Yeah, it's not. If there is a Mario game, it's because a Mario game was scheduled.
Where is the Mario game? Where's Odyssey 2? Where's Galaxy 3? Where's our 3D Mario game?
I am similarly shocked that we've never gotten an Odyssey 2 or a different Mario game. Although I did theorize that Kirby was essentially gonna be the Odyssey 2. But it turns out Kirby is not the same kind of game.
I think Kirby was the 3D Donkey Kong game that everyone speculated about.
Well, that doesn't have the same play style, really.
3D either. World, yeah, but they could have. You're right. The game's very different.
I mean, the Switch sales have been great and everything, but I'm just surprised that it's taking this long to put out another mainline Mario, another mainline Zelda. Like I said, I don't mind. I don't think anybody should worry about delays anymore because there's so many games to play, so many great games to play. You're not going to be starved.
Oh, I agree.
But I'm surprised they delayed it so soon, and I hope it's not because they feel like it doesn't stand up against whatever. When the first
Xenoblade
Breath of the
2,
Wild,
right?
What's that?
Xenoblade 2 will be out around that time.
Xenoblade 3,
is that a 3? I'm sorry. Is that a competitor?
No,
it's not a Nintendo system, though.
Not at all. No. And they wouldn't delay Breath of the Wild 2 because they got Xenoblade's coming out. I mean, not many people buy Xenoblade games. They're fun. People don't agree. It doesn't have the audience that Breath of the Wild is going to have. There could be many reasons for it. I think they're just working on it. And, I hope it does come out in the spring because that would be a good time for it to come out. But, when Breath of the Wild came out, Horizon Zero Dawn had come out a week before it. And it was, I don't want to say a similar game, but it was an open world game, and that everyone drew comparisons over it for years and years and years. And only having just played Horizon Zero Dawn like 6 months ago, graphically, Zero Dawn just destroys Breath of the Wild. Like, it's like a joke. But we still regard Breath of the Wild as the best open world game. And then Elden Ring came out, and Elden Ring looks amazing. It doesn't look much better than Horizon Zero Dawn, but Elden Ring looks amazing. And we still compare it to Breath of the Wild. So I don't think it's a graphical thing.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think Breath of the Wild 2 will do more of that 1 didn't do, besides there will definitely be dungeons. I know Nintendo has heard that feedback.
Yeah.
There will be those classic, like the dungeons we saw in like Skyward Sword, you know?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be more interesting side quests, more things to do. Some of the side quests in Breath of the Wild are mostly like fetch quests and, you know, some dialogue segments, go get this thing or whatever. I think they're going to I think they're packing it with more content. I think that is what's holding them back.
They'll carry this into it, the success of the NSO and these DLCs. Do you think that the game itself is done, but they want to have 3 other DLCs released into 2023 that are not yet done?
I don't think they would delay the game for the DLCs.
Well, maybe the DLC is going to be tied into the story somehow, and they want to. I think the DLC. I mean, we know they'll probably have it. I think it'll be more tied in than, let's say, the last one was, where it was more of an afterthought.
So a lot of the reason why we get DLCs and releases across different platforms that stagger out, and physical and digital editions, like this is something that has crept up and is now normal, is because it helps to remarket the game. So I don't think you would delay Breath of the Wild 2 for the DLCs. If anything, you would put out Breath of the Wild 2, and then, you know, maybe 4 months later, a DLC comes out, and now people have another reason to buy Breath of the Wild 2, and then it gets in the news again, and then another DLC comes out. I mean, we see this all the time, right? Like games that come out digitally, and then 3 months later it's physical. So it's like it's in the news again. Now it's on Xbox. You know, we're going to see Tunic come to Switch, and everyone's going to talk about Tunic again. I don't think that's it. I just think they're trying to pack it with a lot more content, things to do, and dungeons and whatever. And just so it holds up with other open world games, which are just becoming so common now.
No, I agree. I'm just not buying 6 years to make a game if it, you know, on an engine or that kind of already exists.
Right. How excited are you for this game? Like, I assume like excited.
I mean, playing through Majora's Mask again reminded me of how much I love the original concept of Zelda. Right. Breath of the Wild doesn't have that. The problem also is I played Breath of the Wild, John, 5 fucking years ago. Don't remember it to a T. You know, there's times I think about certain spots, like, oh, that game was all right. It was fun. I liked it. And then there's times I remember hunting dragons only at nighttime during like the red moon, because that's what you had to do to get like a certain scale of that. I'm like, man, that was fun. Like it kind of had that like MMO type feel, and going to the waterfall and like, you know. So there's certain times when I remember certain parts of the game. I'm like, no, wait, that game was a lot of fun. You know, so I have like mixed memories. I feel like with Breath of the Wild, like a lot of cool, good exploration ones, and then some tedious ones. I'm like, that wasn't fun doing all the shrines. Like there were some shrines that weren't fun, but I did them just to do them.
Yeah.
And then I remember the beasts. Like doing the beasts weren't fun, but I did them because you had to do them. Right. You know, so don't get me wrong. I'm excited, but I also don't know anything about this game. Let's be honest.
That is exactly it.
Zero about this game. So how can I be excited about a game I know nothing about?
Right. Sometimes I find myself, I'm instinctively can't wait for this game. I love the first one. But I'm like, why am I not super excited for it? And I realize we've never gotten a real trailer for it. We've gotten a couple teasers and that's it. But like the first trailer, the Breath of the Wild trailer is, I think, the greatest video game trailer ever made.
Yeah.
I watch it still, like at least once a month. We have never gotten that. You know, we're going to get, like, whether it be like in June or whatever, we are going to get this serious 4-minute Breath of the Wild 2 trailer that will reduce us to tears. And then the hype will be on. But that hasn't happened yet. So until that happens, I'm excited for it. But I think
we do see something in June. And I think we do see a Mario game in June.
I think that's possible. I just don't think they're going to rush that to fill the hole. You don't.
No, I
rush
agree
it
with
out.
you.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I think maybe they always had it, but
yeah,
I think this does two things, and then we can move on. I think this is, if and I think I originally said we were gonna, one of my predictions, we're gonna see something on a new console by this year, and I'm torn on that. I'm still torn on that, right? Because do we see a Switch 2? If we do,
next year
we'll see a Switch 2 with Breath of the Wild 2, right? And then the big question is that one of the reasons why it got delayed.
That would be fantastic if that's the reason.
Maybe.
That would be.
If we do not get a Switch 2 with the release of Breath of the Wild 2, I think we're not getting a Switch 2 for many years, like 2 to 3 years, at least.
Yeah.
I think they're going to... I do. I believe that's true, because if Breath of the Wild is their huge title and even a Mario game that we haven't seen yet, they're going to either release both of those on a brand new console, or they're extending the life of the Switch for the 2 to 3 more years. And I think that might be okay. I think it's got to be one or the other. We're getting a new console, or we're getting a Mario as well before, around the same time.
I can definitely see them holding on Mario for a launch. But yeah, I would love to know that a Switch 2 is coming. I just think this year was so stacked with games from Nintendo that there was no way there'd be a Switch 2. But, we don't have Advance Wars, and, Breath of the Wild's delayed, and there's still no Mario announced. So I don't know how stacked the year is. I know it is, but not all the games are the biggest sellers either. Like, Advance Wars is not, a big deal to most people.
Strikers too. Don't be wrong. Strikers is one of my favorite games of all time, but
right.
What does that do for everybody else? Mario Golf, loved it. Favorite game. What does it do for everybody else?
And another thing in terms of announcements, like Splatoon 3, shouldn't that have been waited, until Switch 2? Like, did we need Splatoon 3 now?
Oh, let's be honest, they rushed Splatoon 2. I think Splatoon 3 is going to be their moneymaker, right? I think I already told you that. I think they'd be doing battle passes and shit like that. So
yeah,
I think they want that out there to get some money inflow for the rest of this year.
Okay, cool. Speaking of delayed and canceled, E3 was canceled. The physical was already canceled. The digital is now canceled. So there will not be any E3 connection to anything that we see in June. Do you think we're going to still see game companies put out their normal videos in June, or do you think they're going to put them out when they're ready and maybe it's not June?
Am I sad? Sure, a little bit. Do I get it? 100%. I think E3 as we know it is dead forever, to be honest. I don't think it's coming back.
I feel like we've been saying that for 10 years, though.
Well, I mean, now it's actually not happening. This is the first year it's not happening, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to pretend at all about the politics behind it, because I know there is a lot, and I don't think we need to get into that. But in today's day and age, why does companies need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars from marketing, their entry fees and stuff like that, when they can do stuff themselves? I would love to see Nintendo, do something more than a direct, though. Why not do a little type of stage production type, something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we haven't seen that in a while.
Do something a little bit more. I think we're already seeing these other types of things from other companies. The whole
stage.
No, some type of digital announcement. I'm saying that they're kind of already starting to do their own things. I think the biggest problem here is the indies, right? That's where a lot of this gets hurt.
Yeah, I don't know how much the indies factor in, though, to E3. But
maybe not indies, but some of the third parties that don't have a home, I guess you could say.
I do miss, like, E3 week is always fun from all the videos. And even if all of the publishers do videos, and very well, there's going to be a lot of them probably in June, maybe not all of them. But I always love seeing the footage from E3, because Nintendo always has just really cool, not the stage, but, their tent, stuff. Right? Yeah. I'll miss that. And this year seemed like it would be the Breath of the Wild year. Although we thought last year was the Breath of the Wild year. I'll miss that. We're not going to get that chance to see big Breath of the Wild 2 figurines.
What would have been the big display this year? It still could have been Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, I think because I think they could still do a trailer. I mean, if it's going to come out in spring, you're talking about this E3 would be 9 months in advance. Yeah, I think there would be a trailer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'll sort of miss that, but really,
I don't care too much for E3 outside of a few different publishers announcing their games. I still care about what Xbox is going to do. I care more about PlayStation, and I care more about Nintendo. And then, like, you know, Devolver Digital is always, I hate their presentation, but I like their games. Yeah, I'm sort of sad. But we'll see. Hopefully they'll put out some videos.
Mm-hmm.
We also did get the announcement about the PS Plus tiers that are coming out. This is the PlayStation Game Pass that has been rumored. And I've heard a lot of coverage about it, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I don't think a lot of people know what PS Now is. So what PlayStation announced is not anything really new. Currently today, if you own a Sony PlayStation, if you want to get cloud saves and do online play and even download some games for free and get the free games every month, you get what is called PS Plus, PlayStation Plus, right? That's the same service as like an Xbox Live or like a Game Pass Ultimate, essentially. And what you get is you get those free games and you get the online service, blah, 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 blah. But PS Now is sort of their Game Pass. And that's a separate thing. And currently today, PS Now is a $10 a month service. And they have tons of games that you can download and play. So, like right now, if you subscribe to PS Now, I'm going to list out just a bunch of the games that you can download and play. First of all, just to capture Drew's attention here, all 5 Darksiders games are on PS Now. So you can download and play all of them.
5 of them?
All of them. There's 4 Castlevania games. There's Catherine. There's Braid. There's Batman Arkham City. That's the good one. GTA, Vice City is on there. There's 5 Final Fantasy games, 4 Disgaea games, 7 God of War games that you can download and play for free. Gravity Rush 1 and 2. They got Horizon Zero Dawn with the DLC. Every game in the infamous series, Journey, which is a great little indie game. They got all the kill zones. 10 Lego games. Evan would be in heaven. They have
Evan
the Batmans,
played them all.
The Harry Potters, the Indiana Jones, the Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Mega Man 9 and 10. That should make Marty happy. Red Dead Redemption is on there now, which is pretty cool, the original. There's 9 Resident Evil games on PS Now. There's a bunch of Sonic games, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic CD, Sonic Forces, Generations. The Wolf Among Us. There's Tiny Brains, which is that little multiplayer game from the PS4. 3 of the Uncharted games. You got XCOM and XCOM 2. And a whole bunch of games that are included with PS Plus that nobody really talks about, but you can download and play right now. So you can download and play for free The Last of Us. You can download and play Persona 5, Days Gone, Uncharted 4, Bloodborne, and of course Fall Guys. They actually the only place you can play Fall Guys right now. So the value of PS Plus with PS Now is monstrous today. But Sony's biggest problem is the marketing on PS Now. Most people don't even know what it is. They don't market it anywhere near as close as how Game Pass is. Game Pass is Xbox revolves around Game Pass. But for Sony, PS Now is just a little service that they don't really tout that much. They'll post new games every month, and you really have to be following the PlayStation Twitter account to even know what they are. They just don't get talked about. But anyway, what they're doing with this new tier system is they are getting rid of the PS Now brand. And that brand started in 2014, years before Game Pass came out. And it was only a streaming service. In fact, they had bought a company to do it. So it just streamed like 100 games and you can just stream them. And I remember using it back in the day and thinking, I don't like this streaming at all. But it wasn't until like, I think 2018 when you could download the games. So PS Now doesn't really make sense for the service that it is. So going forward, starting in June, everything gets folded into PS Plus. And instead of just one PS Plus, there's now 3 tiers of PS Plus. There's the Essential, So if you have PS Plus today, you're going to be on the Essential plan. There's the Extra, which is PS Plus plus a good deal of what PS Now is. This seems to me, this is like the sweet spot. And we'll go over the pricing in a second. And then they have the premium tier, which is basically PS Plus and PS Now, as it is now, plus like hundreds more games available via streaming, especially from the PS3 era. And they're going to have a bunch of PS, PS2, PSP games as well. So this is like basically like you'll have 600 games available to you. It's going to be something insane. A lot of games available to you. Maybe too many games. One of the big wins with this is that you can subscribe to these tiers annually. So they advertise like the monthly price, and the Essential is the $10 monthly, which is exactly the same as Game Pass. And the Extra is $15 monthly, which is the same price as Game Pass Ultimate. But you can do these plans annually. So you can get PS Plus Extra for $8.33 a month if you just pay the 1 yearly price up front, which is a great freaking deal because that's $1.70 cheaper than Game Pass. And instead of getting 100 games, you're going to have 400 to 450 games. Tons of PS4 and PS5 games you'll be able to download, plus a lot of the big PlayStation first-party games. What they're not giving you is day one. So like when God of War Ragnarok comes out, as of right now, the expectation is you won't be getting those games free. But I wouldn't be surprised if they offer discounts to PS Plus subscribers for those new games. Maybe get 10 or 20 bucks off of it. I don't know. I'm just thinking, but it's going to be a good service. I think it's getting a bit of a slight because, you know, you're not getting the day one games. And here's my argument, Drew. You're not getting the day one first party Sony PlayStation games, but what are you getting from Xbox and Game Pass? Because they don't have a lot of great first party games. And one of the reasons why I stopped with Game Pass was because I ran out of things to play. The biggest games that they have released on Game Pass in the history of my Series X were Halo Infinite and Forza. But I didn't want to play either of those games. You know, so it's like, I don't get the day one first party titles, but it's like, do you want those? Because to me, the big PlayStation first party titles, to me, are still way better. And I'm not getting like, you know, God of War Ragnarok, but I'm getting Bloodborne. You know, there's still a bunch of games. Hopefully Last of Us Remastered, maybe, I don't know. But the value in these services isn't really the first party games. The value in these services are all the other games, right? What are people playing right now? Like Tunic, right? That's not a first party Microsoft game. So it's weird to focus and say, oh, I won't get God of War Ragnarok. Well, yeah, but you'll get like 700 games that you will love. Mm-hmm. So let's like not be so focused on that. Yeah, you'll have to buy it. And then keep in mind, like, people still want to buy games for games they want to keep around. If you've ever played Last of Us, I've played Last of Us Remastered. That game is so incredibly good. Probably the greatest game put together. Why wouldn't you want to own that anyway, right? It's like, I'm not going to like sit there on it. These are games that you will want to play over and over. They're such incredible experiences. So I'm really excited for PS Plus, and I don't think we've seen everything that PS Plus is going to offer yet. I think Sony's sitting back, and if they start to see, like, you know, they start slipping in the console sales, that sort of thing, I can see if they feel like putting their big first party titles on these services will make them money, then they will. I think the only reason they haven't done it is because they don't think it'll make them money. And I don't think there's any proof that Xbox is making money by putting, you know, Halo Infinite there. I mean, how many sales did they lose putting Halo Infinite there? But if they are making money putting Halo Infinite there, then Sony will eventually figure out that it'll make money for them. And so one day they might start doing it. But for now, I still think the biggest reason you get these services is for all the other games, mostly. The last thing I will say is, these two services are not in competition with each other. You cannot get Game Pass on a PlayStation. You cannot get PS Plus on a Nintendo. You can't get Nintendo Switch Online on your Xbox. They don't compete. I've heard on other shows, they talk about like, what Luna's offering and what Stadia is offering and that sort of thing. You can only get the Luna service on a Luna. You can only get the Stadia service on Stadia. They're not competing. Now, if you buy an Xbox for Game Pass because you think that's better than Sony's PS Plus, that is where they can be competing. And a couple of years ago, I bought an Xbox for Game Pass. I already had a PS4 at the time, but I bought Xbox for Game Pass. And when Series X and PS5 came out, I bought Series X because of Game Pass. I didn't want to buy games. I was like, I'm going to get Game Pass. I told you, I'm going to buy Game Pass. I'm never going to own a game for this system. I was wrong. I bought like a dozen games.
You did. So that's where I'm confused, John. Months ago you tell me to buy an Xbox. Now you tell me to buy a PlayStation.
Things change. And when you make a decision, well, oftentimes when you make a decision, that informs you even more on what that decision was, right? I kept my Series X is attached. It's going to hang out there. And this is definitely not a PlayStation or Xbox war, but I bought games on the Xbox. I bought games when they weren't going to be on Game Pass and I wanted to play them. I bought Valhalla. I bought, all the other games I bought. I talk about them all the time. But I bought bunches of games. I had Cyberpunk and all that jazz. In the end, you're going to buy games anyway. So at some point I go, well, if I'm going to buy games anyway, then why don't I get the PlayStation so I can buy the games I want to play, like Last of Us and Bloodborne and all that stuff. That's where that decision changed. It really comes down to what's on the service and what are your habits and do you like to buy games and all that jazz. And I'm just saying is Sony has made the calculation. They will make more money selling their games. They sell often like 20 million copies of a God of War, of a Horizon Zero Dawn, than if they just give it away on a service. They just decided they wouldn't make the money back. And like I said, that's probably true because Microsoft has invested and lost tons of money getting Game Pass going. Their gamble is that if Game Pass can get to 50 million subscriptions, they'll be pulling in so much money, they can absorb the absolute loss of all those sales for a game. If they put a Call of Duty on Game Pass and they lose out on millions of sales, they'll feel like they're still making money because of the subscriptions. And Sony has just decided that's not right now, but that could change. So I think this is a great service. I don't know if I will invest in it, but if I can do an annual, I paid $60. As soon as I got my PS5, I paid $60 and basically got the PS Plus Essential. I would be willing to pay $3.33 more a month and get the PS Now with it, PS Plus Extra, and get 400 games from PS4, PS5. These are going to be more modern games. I don't see why not for a few extra bucks. I don't think I would go premium because I don't need old console streaming games or anything like that. But I think this will definitely increase the subscription base for the PlayStation. And I would like to see them, give some discounts on some of their newer games so that at least you go, I still have to buy God of War, but I can get 20% off. That would be awesome. So I think that's kind of a path I think they will go with. But it's exciting to see. And honestly, I will say the way they advertised this with basically like a giant email was really lame. They needed to put together a really cool trailer, showcase their titles that were coming. They're going to have Miles Morales on this service. They're going to have Death Stranding on this service, Returnal for free on this service, which is a game I wanted anyway. And they just didn't put together like a hype trailer. So I think we'll see that hype trailer like when June comes. Maybe that was going to be part of their E3. That would have really helped. But for some reason, they held back on that. So let's see what comes in June. I'm excited for it for sure. I think it'll be good. And then we'll see. I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to compete with Game Pass. It's just got to be a great service for PlayStation owners. So it's exciting to see. And I wonder if we'll ever see, Nintendo start to go down this path as well, because I don't think Nintendo Switch Online is that. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So let's see in June. I'm very excited. Now, do we talk about the farts?
The farts. It's time for some farts.
This doesn't come from us. This comes from you guys.
We're not this 30 after dark people. You guys bring it out in us.
You went into our Ask channel and Ask, and there's this reality show YouTuber. I don't know who she is. Stephanie Matto apparently made $200,000 selling farts in a jar. First of all, I just want to point out she is from Yonkers, New York. I'm from Yonkers, New York. So she's from my hometown, bitches.
You could have went to school with this shit. No, she's probably too young.
She's too young. I did look up her age, but because, yeah. So she's selling her farts in a jar for $1,000 a pop. So if she sold 200,000 worth, she sold about 200 farts in a jar. I only have one question for you to start this, Drew.
I'm sorry. I how many did she sell? I was seeing how old she was.
I mean, about 200. If they're $1,000 each, and she made $200,000.
Okay.
My math says 200 jars. Here's my question for you, Drew. How do you put a fart in a jar?
It's a great question. I thought about this actually. Because not every fart is also stinky, right? Yeah. So if you get a fart that doesn't smell, do you not capture it? Or how do you know?
Is it a fart, but it's spelled like P or FAURT? Fart?
Maybe
a fake fart.
Is it a fraud? Yeah, like fraud, but a frort. But no, and then if you do have a stinky fart, could you capture more than one in a jar? Like, could you capture 2 in a jar? Like 2, one fart, maybe 3 jars.
Can you pour a little bit from one jar to the other jar?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Does she have to smell the jar?
But that's my point. You don't want to take it, as soon as you do it, I'm assuming you have to cover it immediately. So how do you check it? Just you have like a little thing in there, like does it turn blue if it smells?
This is so disgusting. I don't know who buys it.
I'm assuming you have to do it, no pants on, no underwear, because. And what if you did a little bit of like poop particles in that jar?
I mean, it's just like a bonus.
I don't know.
Does it hurt your image? Doesn't this hurt? I have no idea. I read a part of the interview, and I just want to read this question and answer out.
Okay.
The question is, why do you think so many men are willing to spend so much money on your fart jars if it's not about having a fart fetish? What's the appeal? Good question.
Great question.
Her answer was, a lot of men like financial domination. They want to feel like they're being taken advantage of, even though I don't feel like I am, but they're like, oh, that's so much money, but okay, I'll spend it on you. Just bleed me dry. So I think a lot of that is the financial domination aspect for men. Think about that.
That's fucked up. That that lowered her credibility a little bit in my book. Like,
I don't think, but I think she's being truthful.
But the truthful part is she knows that people are suckers because she's got some big tits that they want to throw money at her for anything. She said that. She just said, but okay,
she's not saying they're suckers. She's saying they want to be financially dominated.
I don't know.
I mean, look, if there's a market for it, they have the choice. I mean, they're not being duped.
How do you know she even farted in the jar?
You don't even know if it's her. Exactly. It could be anybody. There's no way to verify it. Do you think that people who buy the jars get together and they smell each other's to see if they match?
Well, I have an article here about Mizkiff. Apparently he's some streamer. I don't know who this guy is. Twitch stream. Mizkiff. So he bought one of these $1,000 jars of amaranth. And he says... now
this is amaranth because she's now selling them too.
So Mizkiff, who's another Twitch streamer, bought one of the fart jars off of amaranth. And he had a bunch of his friends over and they were streaming of them. They were going to open the jar.
Oh my God.
And he said he was nervous. He says, I'm light scared it's going to melt my eyebrows off.
No.
After a few moments of suspense and unnecessarily dragged out countdown, he opened the jar and took a sniff. Not before immediately regretting his decision. His quote, "What the fuck? She actually fucking farted in a jar. Dude, there's literally fucking facial particles in here." He later went on for a second whiff, but noted the fart smell has dissipated from the jar. Wow, like you actually only get one hit.
Would you... Is opening the jar like unsealing something like that you want it like a collector's edition?
Like
you want open
like the pop. You know, they don't only open like a can of tomato sauce. I want that pop. Like I want to know this was like sealed.
Oh my God, I'm gonna dry heave. This is so gross. I don't know why we're talking about it. I don't understand. Like you have no evidence. It comes from the person. I have no idea why you would want that. None of this makes any sense, but I think she's right. Like, it's like such a novelty. It could be gag gifts from rich people, right? Like, oh, I got you a fart jar for Amaranth. You like that Amaranth? Here's her fart.
Yeah, but like John, I could just like get a jar and put a piece of little construction paper on it and send it to you and just say, put it on your counter, you know. But why? I don't know. So here's the problem. I find two things wrong with this. One, if you buy this because you want to open it, that's fucked up. Like, no, there's no way around it that it's just fucked up and you're a sick individual.
Mm-hmm.
The second there's only two options. That's option one. The second option is you want to buy this as like a novelty gift as a gift to like, it's funny. Like, look at it, put it on your shelf. But the problem with that is it's $1,000. It's not like,
right,
like $50. Like that's probably the most I would probably and like send it to someone as a joke.
Right.
You know, then you have a bunch of buddies. All right, guys, let's open it. Like that's worth it. Whatever.
Right.
Maybe $50. It's funny. But like $1,000 novelty gift. So I don't know who the market is. Is it for these people that are just sick-minded? Because it's too expensive for novelty. It's just too much money.
I think the market is like single male gamers with too much disposable income. And she actually ends her answer with this too. She goes, maybe some even just want the girlfriend experience where they want that close, intimate feeling without the actual commitment to a relationship, which is funny, I think, to call a fart jar the girlfriend experience, because I don't know how gassy girlfriends tend to be. But, you know, like, you know, you're a single gamer, you're at home, you're alone, but you got this jar and it's got Amaranth's picture on it. And you're just like, her fart is in there. It's like a piece of her is here.
And then what happens if your buddy runs over and opens it? Like, no!
That's like being cheated on. Like, you smelt her fart and I missed it.
I mean...
It's gross.
So many more questions. It's too much money. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
If she wants to rip farts left and right, sell them for $25 a pop with $5 shipping, like... And I did that pop. I want the pop when I open it.
Yeah. So do you think
I would send you one?
So we read that Amaranth is doing it now too for the same price, $1,000.
Yes.
Do you think it's because there is a market that wants it, but it's a very small market? And this is what I believe. It's a very tiny market. So they're gouging on the price.
Because it's that market.
Because it's a tiny market that will pay $5,000 for it. So they basically are like, here is what this very tiny market will pay. If they sell for $50, they're probably still only selling 200 of them.
Well,
right?
I think here's what we'll see. We'll see the $1,000 for like 2 months. Yeah. And then I think you'll see him for maybe $100. And I think she'll stop there. Because then you're going to hit the novelty market line. Right now, you're not hitting that novelty market. You're hitting, like you said, the creepos, the people that have, you know, indisposable money. But once you start making it affordable for people, I'm telling you, I think you introduce a whole new market.
We're literally doing business, Drew, over fart jars.
We're laughing, right? But this is a perfect example. Dad does a dart show. We've talked about this woman forever. Like, if we were ever to live stream, how would we not both have one of these in our hands and say, all right, John, I'm going to open this at the count of 3. And I'm like that's what you would do.
If Amaranth was selling a fart jar for $50, I would have ordered one for you by now.
Same here. You probably would have been too.
We'd both get in the same day and be like, ah!
Wait, I put the wrong address on here. I mean, we gotta give credit where credit is due. I mean, what she's calling these things, cutie patooties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gotta respect the tooties.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to like you said, like there's gonna be feces in the jar.
Yeah.
If there wasn't, it wouldn't be a real fart. So, oh my god,
there's feces particles, right? I mean, that's what a fart is. It's got to be.
This is so.
And like
gross.
I said, you have to do it with you have to be nude. You can't fart in it with. You want to make sure that all get captured.
Do you think knowing their butt cheeks were on the top of the jar? Is
are you licking the side of it?
Oh no.
Maybe. Listen, my better question is: do you think she just has 50 empty jars scattered around her house, and she's like, "Oh my god, I feel a fart coming"? Like wherever she is, she has to find a jar and pull her pants down. Because you can't just say "All right, tonight I'm going to go make 50 jars of farts." It doesn't work that way. You can't just plan it.
Oh no! Oh yeah. She's got jars in the bathroom
everywhere.
Yeah. Because you have to know if you're going to fart or you're about to shit. How many jars have been shit in
that she had to throw away?
You rinse them out. You clean them up. You dump it. No. You dump it. Maybe you wipe it, and then you just
leave it.
Close it back up. Yeah.
We did a little smear on the. Oh
it's not a fart. It's just the remnants of the shit that was in there.
What could we sell from the male point of view that we could maybe
Oh, this is easy. When next time you use your manscaper, just put the trimmings in a jar.
But they have those fart sprays and stuff that you can buy. How do I know she's not spraying one of those into it?
You don't. That's the problem.
How do I know it's her fart?
You don't. And then it could be some guy, like a contractor.
Correct, but then you think of it from that point of view. If you do buy it and you're all into this thing, right, and then you smell it, oh my god, that's disgusting. Now she may actually I thought it was going to be this hot, attractive fart smell. It actually smells like shit. I don't want to look at your face anymore. I'm unfollowing you.
Yeah,
backfire.
I think it's gross. It's just ew. She's doing this to jars. I agree. I don't know how. And Amaranth is making tons of money. Why do you have to do this?
Now she's also selling her hot tub water.
That at least is I understand that. I mean, I think it's also stupid.
Do you understand? That's only $100. I think we could afford those.
Yeah, but it's a jar of water. It's not like a fart, for God's sakes. So even though it's still ridiculous.
Now, but that's something you could easily make. That's why the fart is so much money, because there's few of them. There's fewer farts. You could go make 100 jars of water.
But I would say it's authentic because she's got the water, so there's no need to fake it. The water's already in the hot tub. She finishes up a broadcast and she has to fill out 8 orders. She just takes jars and goes goop, 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 goop. I mean, she doesn't have to just put.
Now, what if she farted when she was in the hot tub?
I mean, there's probably feces. She's not usually in the tub though. When we've seen her,
up to her shins.
Yeah, I see her. She's playing Just Dance or whatever.
She's pole dancing right now. I just put her on.
I should totally send you the water. But the water is.
What do you do with that? You put it on your shelf? I mean, that you can't even open. There's nothing to do with that.
You can open. Oh, you can definitely open.
Do what?
Smell the water.
And then just close it back up.
Yeah. I mean, it's stupid. I'm just saying it's not a disgusting fart. It's just water. It will smell like water.
But now you can probably isn't. It's not clear water. It's it probably has it's probably that's foggy, I'm assuming.
Probably a little foggy. You would think she would also put on there which show or what video it was
missed
from.
Opportunity, if not.
Right. You go, oh, this is when she was playing that one game. I was watching that broadcast.
Yeah. Maybe put a picture of what she was wearing that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I looked. I don't even know where to find these things.
I think you just go to the merch.
Where? Does she have a website?
I don't know. I mean, if you go to the Twitch, I'm sure you can link there.
I'm looking. I tried. I don't find it.
I'll type you my address while you do that.
All right, do that. I'll send it over.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. This is on you. But
Yeah, interesting discussion. While Drew's doing that, I'm going to talk about what's coming up in the next couple weeks. We've got Nobody Saves the World coming out April 14th. This is a game a lot of people in our community have been playing. Looks really cool. It's coming to Switch for the first time, and it'll be out a few days after you hear this. We also got Mario Golf. We went the whole episode without talking about this, Drew.
I know.
Mario Golf 64 is going to be on the NSO expansion pack. Mm-hmm. That launches, that's April 15th, or is that an estimate?
That's in 5 days.
Okay, so that's coming out April 15th.
Do the people need to speak up? Do they want a golf league? And I need to do a golf league so that it has a little bit more chance for everybody to win. I gotta be more creative.
You mean handicaps?
Handicaps is what we need. I know it was a golf term. I didn't know if you guys understood that. I wanted to try to. But I think a golf legion. I think if we do one, it will be much shorter, maybe 4 weeks. I think last time was 8 weeks.
Yeah, that was a pretty long one.
Maybe a 4 weeks with playoff type.
Not as many people have the expansion pack too, so that'll affect it. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, people had to buy a $60 golf game, so
maybe we do it as Mayhem or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then on April 20th, 420, Star Wars The Force Unleashed. That is basically the Wii port, is coming to just digital, coming to eShop. Oh. So that's what's coming up. We've got the next time we do this, we're going to have a particularly exciting game, but these are pretty decent for this 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Sweet. Did you find out where you can buy the jars?
No, I can't find it.
Oh.
If someone has it, post us the link. I'm not a Twitch user. I don't really know.
I'm left with blue balls on that one. I was hoping for an answer.
I know. Should we use our Dads After Dark funds to maybe sign up for our OnlyFans? I feel like we should. How much does it cost? I mean, it's like $1 a month. I mean, I feel like we owe it to our fans to describe what's on their OnlyFans. And maybe we could share a login with them. So
I think it's more expensive than just like signing up to a service. But how much do we have to pay to get Amaranth to write Dads After Dark Show on her arm? And then we can get a screenshot and make that like our cover photo everywhere.
I feel like we got to start looking into this a little bit. We need a marketing guy.
Okay.
I'm better look into this. I'm going to see what we can get out of her with some of our funds that we have.
Putting that money to good use.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're asking people to get 1,100 bricks for $10.
Meanwhile, we're spending the rest of the money. I mean, I want to know. You think is OnlyFans? She's giving us like full. Oh my god, we got to do it. We could subscribe for $6, and it gives us 30 days. We'll just use our email. Let's do this. Fuck it. I'll sign us up.
Research. We can do a segment on every episode
for 30 days.
So you get like a couple episodes of it, but it'll be worth it.
I mean, what do we get? That's what I need to know. I want full nude videos. That's what I want. I'll look into it for us. I'm on it.
Let us know, everybody, if this is the content that you want. You can come ask us questions in the Ask Drew and John channel on the Discord. Let us know what you want to get from Amaranth. Do we do a contest for a jar of hot tub water? Let us know. Maybe we can do like a fundraiser for like Ukraine.
If someone buy that should be our next bounty. Someone buys one and drinks the hot tub water.
For $5.
For $5. You actually lose money on it. But you'll be my hero.
Oh my god. All right. I think that's a show.
I think that's it. I'm really diving deep into this OnlyFans stuff. Research only. I'm gonna have to explain to the wife on that one. Why is did you join OnlyFans? Research. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Take us home, John. I already closed out the doc.
Don't forget to leave us a review on Podchaser, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get our podcast. Drew, sign up for OnlyFans and say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including iTunes, Castbox, Spotify and Stitcher. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Follow us on Twitter at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. You rock. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.